Listen, I've got kids, a demanding job, and probably just like you, not a lot of time for fitness. So I'm gonna show you how to maximize your nutrition and what your workout should look like, because I'm gonna give you an inside look exactly my routine from morning to night to show you how to fit fitness into your life without sacrificing family time. So first thing that I do in the morning is I train in the morning, because I know that once work kicks off, I've got to focus on work, and once work gets off, I've got to help out with the kids. I want to be present with the kids, and I want to be able to live the life and not have this workout hanging over my head all day, because I want to work out, because I enjoy it, because I know that if I could do that, it's going to help me for the rest of the day. So the very first thing that I do is I hydrate, and I work out in the morning. So I take First Form Alpha Surge to get a massive pump, because it is going to help the blood pump through the muscles, coupled with electrolytes. So these are the first two things that I take 30 minutes before I actually start training. So after I hydrate, I come down into my garage, and the very next thing that I'm doing is a cold plunge. And believe me, fellas, I do not like a cold plunge. If you don't have a cold plunge, you can take a cold shower. But my point being is, when you take on something that you don't want to do from the beginning of your day, you are beginning to build the willpower of overcoming. Maybe it's sending the email later. Maybe it's doing the dishes. Maybe it's doing something with the kids later that maybe you don't want to do, or whatever the case may be. Starting your day intentionally with overcoming something hard is going to lead to a better rest of your day. So I only spend 2 minutes doing the cold plunge. Are there a ton of benefits to it? Of course, yes, absolutely. Adrenaline, epinephrine, all the good stuff, focus, clarity, energy. Now, since I'm doing this right into a workout, I have great energy and I have great clarity from that, and I'm super, super focused. I immediately get out of the cold plunge and I jump rope for a minute. And if you're thinking to yourself that the cold plunge is going to stunt my muscle growth, that is true if you cold plunge after the workout. Now, since my body recomposition is already pretty much where I want it to be, I actually use the cold plunge to actually get my mind right, so it serves me a purpose going into my workout. Now, when you get cold, your blood goes to your heart. So the blood through my muscles, I'm not going to get as much blood flow. So I immediately go into cardiovascular conditioning. So I do some type of monostructural, which just means focusing on one element, whether it's my bike, whether it's my rower, or whether it's my runner. I have 15 minutes of some type of interval to warm up my core body temperature, to work on my cardiovascular health, and to get blood pumping back to the muscles again. Because after the cold plunge, you want to get warm, you want to get the blood flowing going, we want to get into the strength work so we can focus on building muscle. So far, you see that we hydrate first thing in the morning, and then I go straight into the cold plunge, and then I go to 15 to 20 minutes of cardiovascular conditioning. Now, here we are. Let's call this 6:20 is when I go into now my strength training work. And here, depending on what the day is, now I personally follow and create programs for my guys to where over the course of 6 weeks, we are gradually progressing, and then we start a new training cycle, and then we continue to build throughout the calendar year. Now, depending on what we're focusing on for the day, whether that's a total body, whether that's push, pull, none of that stuff really matters. The point being, as you can see, hydrate, cold, cardiovascular conditioning. The actual programming itself is too in-depth to explain in this video. It's not the point of it. But from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, I am focusing on strength-based movements. I'm focusing on strengthening my core. I'm focusing on my posture. I'm focusing on my mobility. And because I have a plan, it allows me to get straight to work, no wasted time. I'm not scrolling around, dinking around my phone, waiting on machines. I've got everything laid out in front of me, and I'm ready to work and get a lot more work done in less time because I have a plan. Now, after I go from my workout, now like you, after the workout, we kind of got to start getting ready for work. So as you take a shower, have it be a hot shower so that we can get more blood flow to our body, because we're trying to flush all that stuff out. Now, after my workout, I also take a 10-minute sauna. Not everybody has a sauna available. So go and take a hot shower. That's going to help reduce your nervous system, get you into that healthy stress again. So we did the cold before, we did the workout, we did the muscle building work, and now we're getting into a hot sauna or a hot shower. And then it's time to talk about the nutrients. So I intentionally have a very large breakfast. What I have is 4 eggs. I have 4 pieces of Ezekiel bread with no butter, with no peanut butter, just the bread itself, because I'm looking to have complex carbohydrates to replenish the glycogen that I just used from a workout. And then I have a massive smoothie. In my smoothie, I have hemp seeds and chia seeds. I have oats. I've got protein powder. I've got creatine. I got 2 bananas. I'll have almond milk, spinach, cacao powder, strawberries, and ice. So that is a massive breakfast, because I know that if I'm well fed and I get a lot of protein in the beginning of my day, I'm gonna have great energy, and I'll show you how we can actually help improve the digestion by after having this, what I do next. But we'll have great energy, we're gonna be well fed, I'm gonna have good clarity in my mind because I'm not gonna get hangry or not have enough food in my system to actually work hard and start digging for the snack drawer or start thinking about overeating later because I had an awesome breakfast. If we just look at the macronutrients, if I had 4 eggs, that is going to be 24 grams of protein. That is going to be 280 calories. When it comes to my smoothie, that's a lot of ingredients. I already know this, but it's around, depending on what I got in there, it's like 900 calories. My Ezekiel bread, probably 500 to 600 calories, 35 grams of protein. So it's a massive meal. Now, to improve the digestion, you probably either need to drive to work, or if you work from home, here is what you can do next to improve your digestion so that all doesn't just sit in your stomach and you feel bloated for the rest of the day. So I've talked about this extensively in other videos, but if you can walk 10-15 minutes after you have a big meal, it's going to improve your digestion and it's going to help you get rid of waste better so you don't feel bloated. Now, I have a standing desk, I have a walking pad. My first meeting starts at 8 a.m. and here I am. I set my walking pad to a speed that allows me to also still focus. And here, I typically end up walking for 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what I'm working with, without any hesitation. It's going to improve the digestion, my clarity. I'm getting my steps in. This is a cheat code. Get a standing desk, get a walking pad. Your body, your mind will thank you. And also, each morning I replenish what my nutrients are. So I'll have my water bottle sitting right here, ready to take my First Form Microfactor Complete Daily Nutrient Pack. And I always forget how much stuff is in here because it's got a lot. It's got an antioxidant, it's got a multivitamin, called Q10, fruits and vegetables, probiotic, EFA. This is the supercharger for excellent clarity and focus. Here I am, 8 o'clock, I've worked out, I've cold plunged, I've had a great breakfast, I'm ready to focus and I am locked in until lunchtime. I'm not thinking about what snacks I'm gonna have at 10 o'clock. Here I am, focus. I'll move over here in a few minutes after my walk and then I'll be able to be productive and do more deep work that requires a lot more attention. I'll head up for lunch at 12 o'clock and I'll show you what I have next. So to be honest, for years, way longer than I should have, I didn't have a blocked off lunch. I would try to work through lunch and it always left me, I'd get hangry, I'd get frustrated, and the back half of my day wasn't as productive. So what I did was I dedicated a time to lunch. Believe me, if you do that, you're gonna have a lot better, more productive work because you're taking some time to yourself to refeed your mind, listen to some music, get some sunshine, do things that are going to help you be productive on the back half of your day. So as far as the nutrients that I have, I keep it extremely simple. I've talked about this multiple times in other videos. I have a carbohydrate source. Typically, it's jasmine rice, just a microwave packet, slap it in there, or it's a sweet potato. That's my carbohydrate source. For my protein, I choose something simple. It's bison, it's beef, it's chicken, it's turkey, it's salmon, it's some type of protein, whole food ingredients. I have my protein, I have my carbohydrates, I will have either some type of fruit, whether it's berries and kiwis. Those are typically the things that I'm having right now. And in the bowl, or depending on I don't want to dive too deep into the macronutrients right now, but depending on how physically challenging the work was earlier, I would either have like a bowl. If I was having the rice, I'd have like a bowl with bison, with the beef, with an avocado, with some berries, or I might swap that out for like some type of sandwich to still give me the carbohydrates and the protein. But if I had a really heavy day, I might have 2 sandwiches with the bread, or I might just have the bread on 1 sandwich. So I'm not actually tracking. If you're in a weight loss journey, you might need to be more specific, but I've been doing this long enough to where I have a good enough body awareness to where I do not have to do that. And I just know, all right, I'm not gonna have the bread on this one. I'm just gonna have the protein, but I still have to get my fats. I still have to get my fruits so I can have improved digestion. And then guess what happens after lunch? I do another 30-minute walk to improve my steps. So you're getting to the point, you think, I don't have a walking pad or a stand desk. Well, get one or find a way to make it happen, because if you can only get outside outside and do a 10-minute walk, then that's your situation, that's what you do. And then after my 30-minute walk, I'll be working away, chipping away at my computer, whether it has some training sessions or some team meetings or some things that I'm working on. Try to get at least during one of my small breaks, I'll go out and get some sunshine. We got to get more sunshine into our eyes. It's great for your sleep. It's great for your circadian rhythm. It's great for your energy and for your mood. At dinner time, I'll come up and the same thing, guys. Some type of protein, some type of carbohydrate, some type of fiber or fruit so that we are full and there's no snacking in between. Now, after dinner, I typically won't go for a walk, but that's an opportunity for me to play with the kids and get outside and get moving. And that itself, because I worked out in the morning, because I intentionally won the morning and did the cold plunge, did all the hard things, guess what? After dinner, I get to enjoy the fruits of my hard work and my labor with my family. Stop putting off your workouts. And that, after bedtime and things of that nature, then I will have some type of snack. And depending on how, again, I'm not doing macronutrients here, but depending on how active I was in the day, I would either have some type of oatmeal, which would be oats, protein, peanut butter, or if I had a lighter day, then I would just have some type of Greek yogurt, which is high in protein, low in calories. So that is a full whammy from head to toe. I forgot to mention one thing that I do to improve my sleep is after dinner time, I have a very simple thing that I do, and that is that I turn off all overhead lights, because if there's overhead, there's a part in your eye that just stimulates awakeness and being awake. So all overhead lights are off. All we have is lamps and things of that nature. You know, I do watch TV at night, so it's not what I'm getting at, but I am intentionally dimming the lights, and then my phone goes into a box away from my bedroom. I have a no phone zone because you don't want to be caught doom scrolling. If you have trouble going to sleep, some things that you can do is you could take a hot shower, because the cold, what we did in the morning, made our core body temperature hot, and heat wakes your body up. If you have trouble going to sleep, do the opposite. Get hot at night, take a hot bath, a hot shower, and that's going to make your body cool down. And as I drop the temperature into the home, my body is now getting into a restful state, and your body likes predictable systems. If you turn down the lights, if you turn down the body temperature, if you turn down the temperature of the home, you take your shower, you do 3 minutes of stretching, it knows that bing, 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 sleep is coming next. If you're all over the place and you're not consistent, your body is going to have a hard time and it's going to continue to resist you. Build in systems, build in processes so your body knows what's coming next. I've got a split for my training session. I'm running I'm 5 minutes ahead of schedule. If you want help on how to put all this into your life, and this is obviously a routine that I've crafted over 20 years of training, maybe your situation isn't as perfect, but there's 1 or 2 things that you take away from this video. Like this video, comment, subscribe, and if you want me to create a personalized plan for you and show you how to optimize your health with your circumstances, check out the description down below. I'll see if I can help you out.